This story was sent to us by a subscriber. One of those tales you don't hear in travel blogs or flashy vlogs. One of those stories that starts soft and ends with you double locking your hotel door. He didn't come to Thailand looking for love or drama. He just wanted to breathe, clear his head, maybe share a few smiles with someone interesting. And he found her. Quiet, sweet, a little too perfect. At first, it felt like a lucky escape from loneliness. But what he walked into was something else entirely, something colder and far more dangerous. If you ever wake up in a hotel room and see a Thai girl sitting at the edge of your bed, staring at you like you're a sleeping dragon, run. Don't ask questions. Don't try to be polite. Don't wonder if she's okay. Just run. But I didn't. I smiled, said something stupid like, "Good morning." And that, my friends, was mistake number 7. Let me rewind a little. My name's Tom. I'm 32. I came to Thailand to clear my head after a messy breakup. London was gray, cold, and full of memories I didn't want. So I booked a one-way flight, grabbed a backpack, and landed in Bangkok with zero plans. After a few nights in the city, I drifted down to Pattaya. I didn't want walking street madness, didn't want soy 6, soy 7, or anything with loud music and flashing lights. So I picked a quieter area, South Pattaya, where the bars are smaller, the girls don't scream, "Welcome, honey!" every 5 seconds, and the drinks don't taste like gasoline. That's where I found this place, a half-hidden bar with a red sign and no name in English. 3 girls sitting outside. One of them was Janie. She wasn't the hottest, not the youngest either, but she had this calm, confident energy, like she didn't need to try. And when she looked at me, she didn't smile right away. She just studied me, like she already knew something. I sat down. She brought me a beer, didn't ask for a lady drink, didn't try to flirt, just said, "You look tired, you want quiet, right?" I nodded. She sat next to me, and for the next hour, we barely spoke. And weirdly, that felt perfect. Next evening, I came back. Same seat, same bar, same quiet. She was there again? Janie. No, "Hi, babe." No, "Where you go last night?" Just a simple nod. And another cold beer. That night, she talked. Not much, but enough. Told me she used to work in Bangkok. Didn't like it. Too noisy. Too many Farang who think too much. I laughed. She didn't. She said, You think quiet is safe? But quiet can be dangerous too." That line stuck with me. She asked where I was staying. I told her. She nodded like she already knew. Then she asked if she could come over. No smile. No seduction. Just a question. Like asking for tea. I hesitated, but I said yes. That night, nothing happened. She took a shower, put on one of my t-shirts, and curled up on the far side of the bed. Back to me. No touching. No talking. Just silence. And in the morning, she was still there, making coffee, wearing the same shirt, humming some Thai song I didn't recognize. She handed me a cup and said, "You snore too much," then smiled, her first real smile. The next few days felt strangely peaceful. She didn't stay every night. Sometimes she just dropped by, left food at my door, or brought iced coffee and disappeared before I could even say thanks. No questions, no drama, no talk of money, just this quiet rhythm between us. Simple. Once we walked along the beach road at night, plastic bags of mango and sticky rice in hand. We didn't say much, but she kept bumping my shoulder with hers, like a kid. And when I looked over, she pretended she didn't do it. At 7-Eleven, she picked out a strawberry yogurt, held it up to me and said, "This is my happy food." Then she grabbed a second one and threw it in my basket. "Now it's yours too." That night, we ate them sitting cross-legged on the hotel bed, watching some ridiculous Thai soap opera with no subtitles. She laughed at everything, even the sad scenes, especially the sad scenes. She leaned her head on my shoulder and said, "You don't understand. That's why you like me, not yet know me." I wanted to ask what she meant, but I didn't. Instead, I turned up the volume and let her laugh carry the night. The first crack came one morning around 6 a.m. I was still half asleep when I heard knocking on the door. Not loud, not urgent, just persistent. I pulled on some shorts, opened up, and there she was, Janie, hair wet, eyes wide, holding a plastic bag with 2 boiled eggs, some sticky rice, and that same strawberry yogurt. No hello, no smile. She just walked in, like she lived there. I was groggy, confused. But I let it go. We ate in silence. She sat on the edge of the bed, feet dangling, swinging like a kid. After breakfast, she crawled back into bed, wrapped herself in my blanket like a burrito, and said, "Today, I stay. All day, okay?" I had plans. I told her that. She just stared at me, not angry, not sad, just stared. Then she said, "Okay." I wait. And that was that. When I came back later that evening, she was still there, lights off, curtains closed. She was lying on the bed, staring at the ceiling like she hadn't moved for hours. And when I asked if she was okay, she just smiled and said, "I dream all day." It was maybe the 3rd night she stayed over. We'd watched some silly cooking show, ate takeout, fell asleep early. Nothing strange, nothing dramatic. But when I woke up, something felt off. The room was still, too still, like the air wasn't moving. I turned over, rubbed my eyes, and saw her, sitting at the edge of the bed, facing me, just watching, eyes wide open, not blinking, not smiling, just watching. My chest tightened. I gave a nervous laugh. "Jesus, Janie, what are you doing?" She didn't answer. She tilted her head, like a cat studying something dying, then finally said, "You talk in your sleep." I sat up. Blankets fell off me. "What did I say?" She smiled slowly. "You say girl name, not mine." I froze. No idea if I did. No memory of anything. I tried to joke it off, but she stood up, walked to the window, and said without turning around, "Don't make me be sad, Tom. I don't like sad me." Then she turned, smiled again like nothing happened, and walked to the bathroom, humming that same Thai song. I just sat there, frozen, skin cold. And if that gave you chills, hit like and subscribe. This ride's far from over. I didn't sleep the rest of the night, didn't move, didn't even breathe too loud. I just waited for the sun to rise, and for her to leave. I tried to take some distance, didn't text her for a couple of days, didn't go back to that bar, told myself it was just a weird morning. Maybe she was tired, maybe I was. But then, she started showing up everywhere. Once, I was having coffee near 2nd Road, a spot she never knew about. I turned my head, and there she was, standing on the sidewalk, just watching me. No wave, no smile, just standing there like a statue. I got up, walked over, tried to keep it cool. "Hey, what are you doing here?" She shrugged. "I feel you here." "What the hell does that even mean?" She said she missed me. I said I'd been busy. She tilted her head and said, "I know. You go Jomtien. With man. White shirt." That's when I froze. Because yeah, I had gone to Jomtien. That was what my friend wore, but I didn't post anything. Didn't message her. Didn't even have my location on. I laughed it off, tried to change the subject. Later that evening, I found a paper note slipped under my door, in careful, tight handwriting. "I don't like when you're far. You make me feel like ghost." No name, no smiley face, just that. And folded inside, a photo, a selfie, of me and her, sleeping. I was asleep. She was awake, eyes wide, looking straight into the lens. The next time I saw her, she was sitting on the steps outside my hotel, as if she'd been there for hours, waiting. She stood up before I even reached the entrance, smiled like we were lovers reunited after a war. "You look tired," she said, brushing my arm. "I make soup for you." I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no either. So we ended up in my room again. She moved around like she owned the place, cooking, cleaning, folding my t-shirts, even the ones I hadn't worn yet. At some point, she sat on the bed, hugging a pillow to her chest, eyes locked on me. And then, out of nowhere, she said, "I tell my mom about you." I looked up. "What?" She nodded slowly. "She happy. She say I have good boyfriend now." I laughed, a bit too hard. "Wait, Janie? Boyfriend?" She didn't laugh back, didn't blink, just said, "Yes, you sleep with me, eat with me, I take care of you. That's boyfriend." I tried to explain that I liked her, but we were just hanging out, that I wasn't ready for anything serious. She listened, nodded, didn't say a word, then walked over to her bag, pulled out a tiny t-shirt, pink, for a baby, still with a price tag, held it up, smiled. Maybe one day, for our baby, I can keep it, yes? I stood there completely frozen, didn't know whether to scream or laugh. I just nodded, and in my head, alarms were going off like fireworks. That night, I couldn't sleep. Too many thoughts. Too many little red flags piling up in my head. She was lying next to me, breathing steady, or at least pretending to. Eventually, I drifted off, or maybe just shut down from exhaustion. But sometime around 3 a.m., I woke up. Not with a jolt, just a slow, creeping awareness that something wasn't right. The air felt different, heavy, still, like the room was holding its breath. I kept my eyes closed, but I could hear movement, soft, deliberate. A drawer sliding open, the faint click of scissors, whispers. Not English, Thai, low, rhythmic, repetitive. I opened my eyes just a sliver, and there she was, standing beside the bed, a pair of scissors in one hand, a lock of my hair in the other. She was whispering something to herself, again and again. I couldn't understand a single word, but the tone, it chilled me. She folded the hair into a piece of cloth, pressed it to her chest, kissed it gently, then tucked it into a small pouch. Then she crawled back into bed beside me, slid under the covers like nothing had happened, rested her head on my shoulder, and whispered, "Sweet dreams." I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I just lay there, frozen, staring into the dark, listening to the silence, and wondering what she had done with that piece of me. Morning came, eventually. The first light slipped through the curtains, and I still hadn't moved. I lay there, eyes half open, pretending to wake up naturally. She was already in the kitchenette, boiling water, humming again, same song. She turned, smiled like sunshine. "Good morning, sleepy," like she hadn't been standing over me hours ago, scissors in hand, chanting in Thai. I sat up slowly, nodded, forced a smile. "Morning." My voice cracked, mouth dry. She brought over a cup of coffee. Extra sweet, just how I liked it, like she paid attention, and maybe she did. Too much. I watched her move around the room, comfortable, settled, as if this was her space, not mine. At some point, she pulled something from her bag, a small bracelet, red thread, little beads, looked handmade. She sat beside me, tied it to my wrist, smiling like a child. "For protection," she said. Then, in a softer voice, "Now, no bad spirits can take you from me." I didn't know what to say. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. Instead, I looked down at the bracelet and said, "Thanks, it's nice." She kissed my forehead. "Today, I stay with you. All day, okay?" I nodded, because saying no didn't feel like an option anymore. But inside I was already planning how to disappear. I needed space. That much was clear. So I told her I had work to do. A video call with a client, something professional, something boring. She nodded, didn't ask questions, just said, "I'll wait downstairs." And she did. 2 hours later, I went out, and there she was, sitting at the little table in the hotel lobby, stirring iced coffee with a straw. When she saw me, she smiled, like nothing was wrong, like everything was still ours. I tried to make things lighter, asked if she wanted to go to the night market. She shook her head. "Too many girls there." I raised an eyebrow. "Girls?" She sipped her coffee. Didn't answer. Back in the room, she started unpacking her bag. Even though she hadn't said she was staying, even though I hadn't asked. She hung one of her dresses in the wardrobe, placed a little pouch near my toothbrush, sat on the bed like it belonged to her. I watched her do it all, and said nothing. She looked up. "You want me to go?" I opened my mouth, then closed it again. Shook my head. "No, it's fine." She smiled softly, almost like she pitied me. Later that night, as I brushed my teeth, I looked down at the sink and saw a hair, long and black, coiled around my razor. And next to the soap bar, a small folded napkin with my name on it, written in Thai. I don't read Thai, but I knew my name when I saw it. I asked her about it. She just laughed. It's cute. I write it for you. I smiled, but my stomach turned. It wasn't cute, not even close. That evening, I couldn't take it anymore. The way she moved around my space. The way she watched me when I pretended not to notice. The way I no longer recognized my own room. So I said it, carefully. Janie, this is too much. You're great, really, but this isn't what I came here for. She blinked, slowly. You don't like me now? Her voice was quiet, flat, no emotion. I didn't say that. Then why? I took a deep breath. Because I need space. I don't want a girlfriend. Not here. Not now. She stared at the floor, didn't move, didn't speak. Then slowly, she stood up, walked to the mirror, stared at her own reflection. I not enough? I rubbed my face. That's not what I'm saying. Then she turned around, eyes wet, but no tears falling. You sleep with me. You eat with me. You laugh with me. You kiss me like boyfriend. But now, not want me? I tried to stay calm. It's not about that. I can't do this. Her face twisted, not in rage, not in pain, but in something else. You lie, like other Farang. You all same. She grabbed her bag, started throwing things into it, too fast, too rough. One of her perfume bottles shattered on the tile. The room filled with sweet, sickening scent. She turned to me, pointed a shaking finger. You think you use me? You think I don't see? I know, girls. I know what you do when I go. I didn't say a word. Couldn't. She stood there breathing hard, like an animal in a corner. Then, silence. She picked up her bag, walked to the door, stopped, looked back. Eyes glassy, voice almost a whisper. You were different. I believe you. And then she was gone. For the first time in days, the room felt empty. Not just quiet, but still. Like the walls finally relaxed. Like the air had room to breathe. I took a long shower, ordered food, opened all the windows, sat on the bed and just let my shoulders drop. She was gone. It was over. I didn't block her, didn't delete her number, didn't need to. She wouldn't come back. She'd said her piece. She'd left. And I believed it. For almost 24 hours. The next evening, I came back to the room after a walk, took off my shoes, tossed my keys on the table, and then I saw it. A folded piece of paper neatly placed on my pillow. I stared at it for a long time. Didn't want to touch it. But of course, I did. The handwriting was hers, small, precise. You don't see me now, but I still see you. Always. And I still feel you when you sleep. You can leave room, but not leave me. No name, no goodbye. Just that. I checked the door, locked. Windows, shut. No sign of break-in. And yet, she'd been here. Since that night, I've changed hotels, changed cities, changed SIM cards. But sometimes, when I'm in a crowd, I feel it. A pair of eyes, somewhere behind me, watching, waiting. And every time I check the mirror, I half expect to see that soft, crooked smile in the reflection. So what did I learn? Simple. You can't always trust the quiet ones. Sometimes the loud girls, the party girls, they just want a drink, a dance, maybe a little fun. But the quiet ones, the ones who don't ask for anything, who move like shadows, smile like secrets. Sometimes they're the ones you should fear the most, because inside the softest flower can live something dark, something patient, something that knows how to wait. Choose carefully who you let into your space, into your mind, and especially into your bed. Big thanks to the subscriber who shared this story. It takes courage to speak about something most people would rather bury, but sometimes telling the truth helps others see what's coming. If you've got a story, one that's real, raw, and worth telling, we're here to listen. Because the more we talk about it, the more we understand what really hides behind the smiles. Welcome to Thailand, where love is cheap, but consequences are forever.